Yes. Great. And I will share my screen, which you should have seen previously. Great. Excellent. I'll turn my camera off. So my name's Vicky Moore. I've been running a business called Island Cruising since 2021. A regional rear commodore for the Ocean Cruising Club. So I think we've got a few OCC members on the webinar with us tonight. So welcome along. I'm also a port officer for the Seven Seas Cruising Association. I was the former director of Yachting New Zealand, which is the national sporting body for sailing in New Zealand. I've also helped run the Sail GP as well. And I'm also a very keen cruiser and sailor. I've got a Cavalier 45 up in Auckland at the moment, which is a lovely boat to be sailing around, but I'm not unfortunately sailing it this season. So Island Cruising is a business that's been around in the Pacific for the last 40 years. It was started in 1985, so it's actually our 40th anniversary this year. And we have been running yacht rallies up to Tonga, Fiji, Vanuatu, and New Caledonia for that whole time, basically, with a bit of a break, obviously, during COVID. And yeah, I bought the business back in 2021 and also incorporated another business called Down Under Rally back in 2023 as well. So we're all under one umbrella now. We do a lot of work for advocacy for cruisers in this part of the world. At the moment, we're negotiating with New Zealand Customs Services on some changes that they're proposing for international yachts visiting New Zealand. So we're working alongside them with that to sort of push back on some of the things that they're proposing, which I'll talk a bit more about a bit later on. I also do a lot with the OCC. At the moment, we've been giving Fiji biosecurity, sort of questioning them on some of their processes for yachts arriving and the inconsistencies that we've seen so far this season. And I also work for the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, helping to educate them on what normal cruisers are doing throughout the South Pacific as they're sailing around so that they don't think that all yachties are trafficking drugs, that they know what the rest of us are up to as well. Our main rally that we run is the Pacific Rally, but we also have the Sail South to New Zealand Rally and the Go West to Australia Rally. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about all of those and hopefully give you some reasons why you might like to join us on the rally this season. And if you don't want to join us, then hopefully it will give you some tips on all the research and homework that you need to do in the meantime before you sail to New Zealand. Hopefully you've seen some of our flags flying around the Pacific so far of the yachts that are on the Pacific Rally. They're all over the place, so keep an eye out for them. A lot of friendly people. We've got about 178 boats on the rally at the moment that have left New Zealand and Australia and sailed up to the islands. And we'd love to have you guys join us to sail back to New Zealand or Australia at the end of the year. So tonight we're going to be covering off the Cook Islands, Niue, Tonga, Fiji, and New Zealand. Tomorrow night we're going to be talking about going west to Australia. So if you want to carry on over that side, we'll be talking about Fiji, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and Australia tomorrow night's webinar. And you can watch the recordings for both later on our website on the rally page. So what is the Sail South to New Zealand Rally? It's a flexible rally, so there's no set dates or destinations. You can join us from whenever and wherever you wish. Where our main aim is to ensure you have a great time cruising the Southwest Pacific, that you're informed with all the latest news and events going on, that you get correct information about all the formalities and all the documents that you need for clearing in and out of all the countries that you're going to visit on the way, ensuring that you understand all the local cultural protocols. We can save you a huge amount of time doing all the research that you'd need to do otherwise. And we also get you great discounts at various marine trades. You can quickly recoup your rally entry fee by joining us and taking advantage of the many inclusions and discounts that we have on offer. We'll connect you with all the other cruisers heading in your direction, support you if things go wrong, and then the cost is 650 New Zealand dollars per vessel, which is about 380 US or 340 euros. So why would you want to come to New Zealand? As you can see, it's pretty chilly at the moment with me here, but from when you arrive in November through till April, May, it's our summertime, so it's a lovely time to be visiting. We've got lots of fantastic destinations that you can explore by sea or by car, and I'll talk to you about those later on. We've got fabulous marine facilities here to get your boat jobs done that you might be needing after sailing through the Pacific. Great place to do all your repairs. And of course, easy access to get back to the Pacific again the following year. So yeah, tonight we'll be talking about all of those sorts of things, including biosecurity, formalities in New Zealand, cultural considerations along the way, and places to visit before you get here. So Māori culture is something that's very important to us in New Zealand, and we have a thing called manaakitanga, which is basically about hospitality and welcoming guests. And so you'll find a very warm welcome in this part of the South Pacific. And it's really important to us, if you join the rally, that you share our values, which is being a considerate cruiser. And obviously how you are treated in the Southwest Pacific has a lot to do with how you treat others. So there's a bit to know about learning to respect the culture and protecting the environment and taking care of each other through this part of the world. So you can find all our values on our website as well. So my first tip this evening is take your time. There's a huge amount of territory to cover in the Southwest Pacific, and you're really going to need to take some time to relax and enjoy your time throughout this part of the world. The Southwest Pacific is often, from people that have circumnavigated, they say that it's the best part of their circumnavigation. You'll find lots of friendly people, interesting, diverse cultures, spectacular cruising grounds. It's clean, it's mostly very safe. We have excellent marine facilities, as I mentioned, a huge amount of territory to cover, and we'll make sure that you don't miss out on any of the good bits along the way. So please stop and stay a while. The season runs from May till October up in the tropics, which is our Southern Hemisphere winter. And then the South Pacific cyclone season is summertime in New Zealand or Australia from November through until April. So as you can see, if you're in French Polynesia or heading west throughout the Cook Islands, you're perfectly positioned in New Zealand here, just below basically Tonga, Fiji, Vanuatu, and New Caledonia, all about 1,100 nautical miles north of New Zealand, or about a 1-week sail for most boats to get to and from the islands. So a suggested itinerary would be your first season to leave French Polynesia, head through the Cook Islands, Niue, onto Tonga. Potentially, if you've got time, you could go on to Fiji as well, although arguably you could spend at least a year or a season in Fiji on its own, and then down to New Zealand for our summer. And then in season 2, head from New Zealand back up to Minerva Reef to Fiji to cover off anything that you've missed there, and then head west from Vanuatu and New Caledonia and on to Australia. Or you can also spend summertime up in the tropics. So there is the boatyard in Vava'u, Niue Marina in Fiji, and Vunda Marina in Fiji that allow you to stay over the summertime up there. Tip number 2 is learn about your destinations, and we'll make sure that you don't miss all the best anchorages and sites along the way, and keep in touch with current and local information, anything current events or any topical news that you need to be aware of. And we can save you a whole lot of time in doing the research at your end as well, so you get to spend your precious time out there exploring and not researching. I've just got someone there who's not on mute, so I'll just try and mute you guys. There we go. Thank you. All right, so the Cook Islands is probably your first port of call, and I know a few of the boats on the rally have already been through the Cooks, but it's there's 15 major islands spread over 2.2 million kilometers, so it's a pretty vast area to kind of visit and cover off. But I just wanted to let you know that Suro is still currently closed. We are still sort of encouraging people to put in their application if you are wanting to visit this part of the world, because it gives them a bit of an idea of what the demand is for people wanting to go there. Just to let you know that the logistics are very difficult for them to try and get the officials out there to the island from Rarotonga to get out there, and obviously put them up for a period of time. So that's the reason why it's closed. It is a national park and a protected area, and a permit is required to visit. So please do not visit Suro at the moment. The typical route across this part of the world, this lovely graphic came from MetBob. Most people will choose one of these 3 routes to sort of head through from French Polynesia. either through Aitutaki, Palmerston, Niue, and onto Tonga, or the southern route through Rarotonga and Beveridge Reef. I know quite a few people have gone through the Aitutaki recently, which is looking really good. There's been some great information shared and some pictures and stuff. On our website, we have all of the documentation that you need to clear in and out of the Cook Islands, as well as detailed notes, which are always being updated with current events and information as it kind of comes to hand. So that's in our part of our rally package. If you sign up, you can access all of this information as well. So yeah, obviously there's been some great sharing of photographs of what the current conditions are there and the dredged channels and bits and pieces like that. So you'll find all sorts of information on our website about that. Niue is often the next place that people will stop into, or if you're going the opposite direction, you might like to go up through Samoa. Niue is a really interesting place. I went on holiday here a few years back, and it's really like a sharp, jagged piece of coral sticking out of the ocean. There's no rivers or anything, and the water is incredibly clear. It's quite a different, unique destination. And again, we've got all of the forms that you need and notes on our website to make sure that you know all the things that you need to do when you get through there, including how to get your dinghy in and out of the water, which is a bit of a challenge in itself. Next port of call is onto Tonga, and Tonga is where most of the boats from New Zealand will depart from New Zealand at the beginning of May and end up in Tonga. It's made up of 4 different island groups. So you've got the Niue's right at the very top, Vava'u, which is where many of the people who are coming across from French Polynesia will clear in. The Hapai group, which is absolutely stunning, sort of low-lying coral atolls. And then Nuku'alofa, which is the main largest island and the capital city. So all of the flights from New Zealand go in and out of Nuku'alofa. And then there are domestic flights to get around Vava'u, or you can fly internationally from Fiji into Vava'u as well. This is Niafu Harbour in Vava'u. It's quite a deep harbour, and they've got lots of moorings and things there. So in our rally notes, we give you details of all of that. There's my little boat over there. There's some great restaurants and things in this particular area. It's really well set up for cruises. Lots of facilities for cruises here, and some really stunning cruising grounds, including the beautiful cave, Swallows Cave, that you can go into, or head further south down to the Hapai group. This area was actually quite badly affected by the volcano and the tsunami a few years back. So you can see this island, basically the wave went directly like right over the top of it and wiped out all the vegetation. But still a beautiful spot for cruisers to go and visit. Really incredibly clear water and beautiful places. And this island is Big Mama's Yacht Club down in Nuku'alofa, and is typically where all the boats from New Zealand will clear into Tonga. And Big Mama has a house here. They used to have a little resort, but that was sadly destroyed in the tsunami as well. But very welcoming to cruisers in this part of the world. Tonga's got a really interesting history of the kingdom. They've even got their own Stonehenge, which is just as ancient as the one that you'll know of in the UK. There's some very interesting history and things to know about this part of the world. And we talk through all that with our Tonga resources. We've got a detailed briefing about visiting Minerva and Tonga, that recording of that webinar that you can watch if you sign up for the rally, along with all the formalities and documentation and that sort of stuff, which is on our website as well. We have also get great discounts for things like whales, swimming with the whales and that sort of stuff as well. And we can tell you where all the marine reserves and the anchoring restrictions and the fishing zones are. And also encouraging you, obviously, to use your holding tanks when you're in some of these beautiful bays. Tonga also in Vava'u has a boatyard, and you can leave your boat here over summertime. It's a disused quarry, I believe, so it's quite a steep hill behind here, quite very well protected. They've got a ramp here which with a trolley and cradles that they bring all the boats in and out, and quite good repair facilities and things available there as well if you need any urgent repairs on your boats when you get to Tonga. We'll also keep you up to date with all the things that are going on. So there's quiz nights and fundraising events and bands and bits and pieces playing, all sorts of things going on. So we'll make sure that you don't miss out on anything that's happening locally. They also have a Blue Water Festival in Tonga. I haven't got the dates or the details for that yet, but typically that's at the end of September if you're coming through Tonga later in the season, and that's definitely worth stopping into. We've got tip number 3, it's not what you know, but who you know. So we've got lots of local contacts in Tonga as well. So if you need anything whilst you're there, we can connect you to the locals who will be able to help you with any questions that you have along the way. Beautiful people, Tongan people. Tip number 4 is there are some natural and political hazards to be aware of in this part of the world. Obviously, we have earthquakes, volcanoes, occasionally, but hopefully not very often, tsunamis. Also protests. That top picture was New Caledonia last year, about this time last year, actually, when I was there, which is a bit of an interesting time. So we're here to help if you do encounter any of these emergency situations. We'll keep you informed in the case of anything kind of coming up if you end up getting stuck somewhere. For example, our rally boats were halfway to New Caledonia when this all started. And so we were able to help divert them to Vanuatu and just make sure that they were all safe along the way. And again, our advocacy that we're doing, this was just in the paper this week, sort of talking about chicken. You can't take chicken into Fiji at the moment. Tip number 5, Big Brother is watching you. So as I mentioned before, I do a bit of work with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime with their Maritime Crime Unit in the South Pacific. So just make sure that you keep your AIS switched on. You'll be surprised at how much you're being tracked through the Pacific. So as soon as you turn your AIS off, you're considered to be a suspicious vessel, and they are actually still monitoring you, even though you haven't got your AIS switched on. There's satellites that are keeping track of boats that are parading around the South Pacific without AIS, and that's not just recreational vessels, but also fishing vessels and that sort of stuff. Please make sure that you do not stop anywhere until you are officially cleared in. I know that some countries do tolerate this practice, but it is definitely not permitted anywhere in the Southwest Pacific anyway, in terms of clearing in. You must clear in first before you stop and drop the anchor anywhere. And also to report any suspicious activity that you see along the way. And if you'd like to do that confidentially, you can contact us and we'll give you some links in which to do that. I know sometimes you might feel reluctant to report anything to the local officials, but we can help you do that in a way that is anonymous and will keep you safe as well. And also, I know there was some articles going around about boats that were being boarded and searched last season. If you have an unpleasant experience, I have given some feedback back to the officials about this. But if you do have an unpleasant experience this season, I'll make sure that you understand your rights and can advocate on your behalf. If I know who you are, obviously, I'm not going to be advocating on behalf of actual people breaking the law. But if you do have any comments or questions about that, please let me know. This is the Tongan Navy, so you can expect to see them. They did actually catch up with a couple of our Pacific rally boats from New Zealand sailing into Tonga recently. They came alongside and asked them a few questions, where they were going and who they were and that sort of thing. So they're very friendly. Just as long as you're happy to see them and they're happy to see you, then you don't have anything to be worried about with these guys. They're out there to help you guys. Tip number 6 is understand the culture, and being a good guest means understanding and respecting the local protocols. And this means that we'll continue to ensure that cruisers are warmly welcomed in this part of the world. And this is really, really important to us. It's very easy to inadvertently upset people if you don't understand the local cultural practices and protocols. And so things like Sundays in Tonga are very quiet days up there, and everyone goes to church. So it's a day that you're not allowed to work, not even working on your boat or participating in water sports and that sort of thing. So we'll make sure that you understand and can respect these local protocols without upsetting anybody locally. Tongan people are beautiful people. Excuse me, just having a drink. So option 1 is to depart from Tonga and sail to New Zealand via Minerva Reef. And Minerva Reef is an incredible place. I would recommend stopping off there. Obviously, if you've been through French Polynesia, you've probably been to a couple of stunning reefs and stuff along the way as well. But this is about 230 miles from Tongatapu to Minerva, and then about 800 miles from Minerva to New Zealand. So it's quite a good place to stop and wait and stage yourself for the weather window to head further south. It's really quite spectacular place. And a lot of people from New Zealand like to stop in there on the way to and from New Zealand. Option two, if you're a bit ahead of the game and you're already heading towards Tonga, you probably might want to head across to Fiji if you've got time. So it's about 400 miles from Tonga to Fiji. Take you sort of 3 or 4 days to get across there. And Fiji is an incredibly welcoming place. They love visitors, their hospitality, they're renowned for it in Fiji, and you'll receive a very, very warm welcome. It's a huge place to try and visit, and you certainly won't be able to even scratch the surface in half a season. In fact, we have participants on the rally that go up and down to Fiji and just spend the entire 6 months there, and they still have only just scratched the surface. So there's over 333 islands. The Lao group down here is a very popular place to go and visit. Please do not stop here until you've cleared in. The main entry port for you guys coming from the east is Savu port up here. And then most of the time you can wait there for a break in the trade winds to make your way south to the Lao group. We have in the past been able to do the Lao clearance, where we fly all the officials out to Vanua Balavu to do the clearance out there. Unfortunately, there's been a change in the pricing, which makes it extremely expensive for the boats to do this. And so we've decided again this year that we won't do it, but we'll continue to lobby for the pricing to be brought down. So if you've got any questions about that, you can let me know a bit later on. The main area over here is Nandi, the main international airports. It's where all the flights come in and out of Fiji. And this part of Fiji is sort of where a lot of the resorts and touristy areas and things like that are. So if you've got lots of guests and friends and family coming in and out, this can be a convenient place to kind of stage yourself. Otherwise, over this side is definitely more remote and more isolated, if you like, in terms of what's available over this side. It's really only possible to visit the Lao group with your own boat. So no resorts or shops or anything over this side of the world. So beautiful place to kind of come and visit. So we've got lots of resources about Fiji. There is quite a bit to know about Fiji because there are some hazards to avoid there. So we have a Fiji briefing. We've done quite a detailed passage planning session where we talk about a lot of the hazards there, how to navigate in Fiji because the charts in Fiji are not accurate. We highly recommend that you use OpenCPN and satellite images to help yourself navigate around Fiji. We have a track library, which is where previous rally participants have uploaded some of their tracks, which gives you ideas to how to get in and out of some of these reef systems. And we also give you a discount on the Sail Tonga and Sail Fiji app as well, which is also another great resource and tool for you to use. Most boats will clear in at Niue Island Marina in Savu, which is a fabulous marina. It's like a resort for your boat. They've even got a swimming pool and restaurants and the most incredible showers there. They've got a haul-out yard, and Savu is a great town for provisioning. There's some quite nice restaurants and butchery and big market, fresh food market, and lots of interesting things to see and do in Savu while you wait for your cruising permit too. The other marinas in Fiji include Vunda Marina. So this is an aerial shot of Vunda Marina. They've got a basin in here, which is like a mid-mooring type basin, and then floating docks over this side. Great restaurant here. And these are all the pits where they put all the boats on the ground and dig them into a cyclone pit around the outside here. So they've got a travel lift here and a catamaran ramp here as well. And lots of marine trades and things are based in this particular area too. And finally, Denarau Marina is another stunning marina. Is a lot of super yachts kind of call in and out of here, but they do have smaller berths for boats like ours. They have a travel lift here as well. Fabulous restaurants, supermarket, dress shops. All the touristy boats come and go from here out to the Mamanutha and Yasawa Islands. And they also have moorings out here as well that you can hire, and all the resorts and things are around here as well. So it's a beautiful place to come and visit. Most people will clear in at Niue and then out at Vunda or Denarau if you're kind of using your trade winds to get around. One thing to know about Fiji is the Sevu protocol. So you'll need to get yourself some bundles of kava, which are wrapped up in Sevu size bundles, about a quarter kg of kava. It's like a root, which they pound up and make into the kava drink. You must take a bundle of kava to every village that you visit. So every anchorage is owned by a village, and it's basically you go ashore, you go into this bay, you drop your anchor, and the first thing you need to do is go ashore and meet the village and take your bundle of kava, go and see the chief and ask him for permission to anchor in this particular bay, and they'll say a little prayer and do a bit of clapping and take your kava from you, and that's like your offering. It's like going to someone's house for dinner and taking a bottle of wine or a bunch of flowers or whatever. It is the done thing, and if you don't do sevu sevu, is considered extremely rude, and you can basically, it's just not done. Just don't do it. You must do sevu sevu. So we can tell you all about how that works. You don't necessarily have to drink kava unless you are invited to a special event. So it's not, you won't be having to drink it with them. It's just going ashore and passing over your offering if you like to go to these villages. But if you've got any questions about that, you can let me know. The appropriate dress code is a sulu, so that's for men and women, and obviously having your shoulders covered and nothing on your heads or backs when you go and visit the chief. So you take your backpack off and your hat off as well, and your sunglasses. But hopefully while you're there, you will get to take part in a kava ceremony. It is lots of fun, and the marina often puts on a welcome event for you as well, so that you can experience what a kava ceremony is, and they give you a special touristy diluted version of the kava, so it gives you a bit of a tingling on the lips and mouth. It's quite fun. And then you're off to, obviously free to explore. This is the Bay of Islands and the Vanuatu, which is an absolutely stunning anchorage. You've probably seen lots of pictures of this. So you can climb up the hill and do a really nice walk over to there. So we'll let you know where the access is to that track. And the village for this is Dalathoni village, which is actually down further south, about a few nautical miles further south. So you definitely must go and do your sevu sevu first with Dalathoni village before you come and anchor up in this beautiful bay. It's another angle of it here. It's gorgeous. You could stop and spend a week or more here. And then another popular place is much further south in Falunga, which is this particular picture. And again, a very popular place for cruises. They actually match you up with a host family down here, and you get to spend a bit of time with the people down there. It's quite a lovely experience. Or of course, you can head across to the Yasawa Islands, and this is well known for their beautiful golden sandy beaches and crystal clear waters. Just an absolutely stunning part of the world. This is also in the Yasawa Islands. This is Waia Island, and it's my little boat. But as I mentioned earlier, tip number 7 is the charts in Fiji are not accurate. And so our rally content includes tips on how to safely navigate your way around Fiji, including our passage planning webinar, tutorials on OpenCPN, and other tips and tricks along the way, as well as our track library. One of our rally participants has put together a tablet, a robust, waterproof, rugged tablet, which is all preloaded with the OpenCPN satellite images for the Southwest Pacific. And he provides support and webinars on how to use it, and gives you a $100 discount for people on the South-South Rally. So he's got a couple of options. Project X, it's what it's called. So if you haven't already got OpenCPN, that's an option for you if you want to get into it. And as I mentioned earlier, we also have a combo offer for the Sail Tonga and Sail Fiji apps. It's a discounted package for both of those apps, which gives you lots of different routes and tips and tricks for navigating around this part of the world. So yeah, you definitely don't want to end up on a reef in Fiji, and it does happen on a more regular basis than you'd like. But it's a great place to cruise. Other than that, as long as you're very, very careful, there's lots of fun events where you can get together with other cruisers, including the Musket Cove Regatta, which is in September. It's a very popular event. It's like a fun cruising regatta as opposed to a serious racing regatta, but very much enjoyable, and everyone loves coming along to participate in this race. They have pirate parties, and they're cruising around the island and that sort of thing too, which is great. We have a rally group chat on WhatsApp, so similar to all the other WhatsApp chats that are out there, but this is just for the rally participants. And if I obviously answer a lot of the questions in our rally chats, and if I don't know the answer, then I definitely know the people to ask to find out. It's a great way of sharing ideas, staying connected with your other rally participants as well. And because there's lots of people flying up and down from New Zealand and Australia to the islands, all the crew members, we often get people to bring up parts and things to the boats that are on the rally. And again, that's another great way that you can save on freight costs and that sort of thing, just getting other rally participants to help bring in any spare parts that you need along the way. So once you've cruised through Tonga and Fiji, it's now time to prepare to head south. So over the coming months, we have lots of notes, webinars, updates, and reminders to make sure that you've ticked all of the boxes. As I mentioned before, you can stay in the Pacific in one of these pits. This is a better picture of it. They sort of dig out a hole for your keel to sit in, and then you sort of, the boat's hull sits on these tires. So you can leave the boat up in the islands over summer if you want to. But otherwise, most people will sail south to New Zealand or go west to Australia. You can depart from any point, so Tonga, Fiji, Vanuatu, or New Caledonia, or even cross the ditch from Australia to New Zealand if you like. And our group departures aim to leave around mid-October, or at your leisure. You can come anytime you like. But we aim to have everyone back in New Zealand by 1 November, which is when most insurance policies require you to be south of a certain latitude. We can help you with crew. So we've got a really big crew seeker list of really keen crew members that would love to come and help you do the passage as well. And we'll also teach you about the weather. And there's a lot of, I guess, misinformation out there and tall stories told about the sailing from the islands down to New Zealand. So don't believe everything that you hear. The horror stories are generally told by those ones that haven't prepared correctly and just decided to set off on a certain date. There is actually a pretty good strategy that we use in terms of the weather systems to kind of head down in this direction. Obviously, you've been used to sailing through the southeast trades all of this time, so you are entering a different area with all of the westerlies, and we'll make sure that you understand what the weather patterns are doing in this part of the world, and get you down to New Zealand where the temperature is just a little bit more manageable, because it does get very hot and humid in the tropics over that particular time, and it's summertime in New Zealand. This is just a picture of all of the tracks of various cyclones over a period of time, just so that you can see what happens during cyclone season in the Southwest Pacific. So definitely being further south is safer for you and your boat over that time. We will get you added to our Predict Wind Rally Tracker, which obviously gives you weather forecasting and also gives our weather router more information as to where all the boats particularly are. And if you haven't got a Predict Wind subscription already, you can get a 20% discount with us on the rally. So yeah, just another picture of sort of the weather and those high pressure systems that high and low pressure systems that moving across here. So those are the ones you need to be aware of and use them to your advantage. So it's crucial to get the weather right for the departure. We'll make sure that you know all about it. We'll have weather briefings, a webinar so that you understand what's going on in the Southwest Pacific weather systems. If you're not on the rally, you do need to do your research and work out for yourself how to make that trip. We use a weather router for our main group departure mid-October, a professional meteorologist, Bob McDevitt. We also have John Martin, who has a service called Ocean Tactics. I know a few of you have already got John on board, and he can also help you with planning your weather for this particular trip, and he does a discount for rally participants as well. So he'll work with you one-on-one. Bob also does one-on-one weather routing, but does the group departures for us as well on the rally. While you're on passage, you'll get daily weather updates, obviously connected with all the boats heading off at the same time, and we'll send you email updates with any important information to know as required. We also use Passage Guardian, who does a really great service just keeping track of all the boats for me on passage, and he can help sort out any comms issues as well with radio, AIS, and doing daily check-ins for the boats. There's also an SSB sked with Gulf Harbour Radio, so we'll connect you with these guys, and you can tune in with all the other rally participants on passage. They also do weather updates and things like that as well for people there. Lovely, lovely people, Patricia and David. On arrival, we'll provide you with all the paperwork you need and information to ensure that the process is smooth and easy. Most people will clear in either at the Bay of Islands Marina in Opua or at Marsden Cove Marina, who are putting together a value-added package for rally participants coming soon. So the customs clearance can be done in either of those ports. Biosecurity is something that's taken very seriously in this part of the world, so we'll make sure that you understand what you are permitted and not permitted to bring into New Zealand. You're likely that your boat will be searched by a dog on arrival. They'll be sniffing out, obviously, for drugs, cash, and vegetables or fruit and vegetables and other prohibited items. Tip number 9 is hull hygiene. So there are strict biofouling rules and regulations, and obviously it's best practice to ensure that you have a clean hull before you sail from one country to the next. Obviously you'll go faster and also avoid transporting any nasties from one place to another. And you do need to ensure that you've got a clean hull before you arrive in New Zealand, and we'll make sure that you understand all the regulations around that. We'll give you a template that you can use to create your own biofouling and pest management plan. Which is questions that you'll be asked on arrival about how you manage your hull hygiene. And the main reasons for that is because of a very nasty invasive seaweed that has been introduced to New Zealand recently called Calliope. And it's been found in multiple places around New Zealand, unfortunately, and there are now areas that have been closed off for anchoring to hopefully try and avoid spreading this any further around. It basically carpets the seabed and kills off all of the local flora and fauna. So they're trying to prevent it from moving, but it's very difficult. Coral and shells, just make sure that you're aware of this, that are protected under CITES and are not permitted to come into New Zealand, and they will be taken off of you, and we'll make sure that you understand the regulations about that. And if you're an international passport holder and you're not a New Zealander or an Australian passport holder, you will need a visa to arrive into New Zealand, and we'll give you, there's a few different options, and we'll just give you a few tips and tricks for the application process and explain the different options, which basically depend on what you're going to be doing whilst you're here. Customs, at the moment, New Zealand vessels can stay into New Zealand for up to 2 years. You do need to provide value of your vessel as you come in. Some boat-related items can be supplied to you without payment of GST, so you get the tax-free bonus of spending on your repairs whilst you're here, and you do need to submit some forms before you get here. Tip number 11 is booking a yard, and we'll give you the options of which yards and marinas to book into and the best marine trades in the country. We recommend if you've got a big job planned or you're planning on leaving the boat for a while, that you get booked in early, and rally participants get all sorts of special offers and discounts at a variety of different routes around the country, and we're constantly updating these offers, and they do their best to try and squeeze all of our rally participants in as well. So at Dockland 5, you can get 15% off hard stand fees if you're on the rally. If you go to Port Whangarei Marine Centre, you can get 50% off your haul out and relaunch fees if you're on the rally. There's all sorts of different options available for people. As I say, sometimes it might not be a discount, but it might just be some other kind of special offer, or just taking care of you in a special way, or squeezing you in. We have boat builders, so Blair Boats, they're actually on the rally at the moment, and they can help with major jobs as well, and they're based in the Bay of Islands. The Bay of Islands Marina also has a hard stand and haul out facility, as does Marsden Cove. They've got a great hard stand and fantastic facilities there. Lots of marine trades around. And then what to do when you get here. So there's lots going on over New Zealand summer. There's a Bay of Islands Cruises Festival. They haven't set the dates yet for this year, but it'll be mid-November sometime. Obviously, you might want to do some cruising. You might want to join us on the South Island Rally. Maybe you want to park up in one of our awesome marinas and rent a car to explore by land, or go home for a while even. So there's plenty of cruising right around the top of Northland. So from sort of Auckland, Coromandel north, you could easily spend your summer just cruising around this part of the world or you can head further south down to the South Island. There's so much amazing cruising around the whole of New Zealand. But if you have any questions or problems whilst you're here in New Zealand, I'm local, I'm here to help. We know everyone here and all the places to go and can help with any problems or anything that you have along the way or any advocacy issues as well. You get a weekly members email, so which has the latest news, upcoming events, basically a connection with the New Zealand cruising community, and also any topical special offers from our partner businesses. We'll introduce you to all the locals as well, so you get to know all the Kiwi cruisers that are in the islands and come back and have lots of friends based all around the country as well. And we also like to do a bit with environmental organisations, so you can take part in some of our citizen science projects. We work quite closely with Seakeepers Society and also Citizens of the Sea, doing all sorts of cool, fun science projects and environmental things as well, which is lots of fun. We have exclusive special events. So I've just been chatting to the team at Vetus Maxwell, and they're going to invite all of the rally participants along for a tour of their factory and learn about servicing windlasses in November. So that sounds like a bit of fun. And we've also got our 40th birthday party coming up in November, which is going to be held at the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. So you can come along and see the America's Cup and hang out at the squadron, which is a pretty special place to kind of hang out as well. But yeah, so we've got lots of different sponsors and partners with the rally. So boatyards, chandleries, sailmakers, sailing gear, dinghy people, they all like to give friendly service and great advice. We can get you a discount on Henry Lloyd clothing and amazing sailing clothing as well, thanks to the chandlery up in Russell. We have project managers that can help you with your repairs. We have auto marine electrical people as well who can help with any upgrades or maintenance that you need done. But we have a very wide variety of different basically marine trades and services that can help out with you. So anything from refrigeration to winches to desalination, water makers, delivery skippers, weather, marine medical stuff, flags, voyage vet. So if you've got pets on board, we can help you with that as well. Insurance and training and all sorts of things like that as well. So there's definitely a wide variety of people that are there to help you and give you the best deals and offers that they have. Also, we partner up with other marinas. So Town Base in Whangarei is another wonderful place to go and stop and spend a while, and they'll try and squeeze you in. It's really popular in there. So they don't offer any discounts, but they do try and get all the rally boats in there if you're interested. Tauranga Bridge Marina, a bit further south, is another really interesting place to go, and lovely marine trades and things like that there, and in a different part of the world to go and explore. Or further south, you can go down to the Marlborough Sounds marinas, and they've just come on board as a partner too. We have sailmakers who can help repair or make you some new sails, riggers, and paint suppliers, giving you Win Fraser gives you 10% off of paints, discounts at chandlery and whangarei, as I mentioned, first aid supplies and training, flags, and also discounts on the rocket guides if you're heading to New Caledonia and Vanuatu. I'll talk a bit more about them tomorrow. If you are selling your boat in New Zealand, we also partner with a lot of different brokers as well, so we can help point you in the right direction of some of our favourite brokers. Just so you're aware, there are some changes to how international boats are sold in New Zealand. And if you are planning on selling your boat in New Zealand, I recommend you maybe drop me an email after this, and I'll give you an update as to what's going on. It's probably just, I won't go into too much detail here tonight, but definitely need to do your homework there. There's also lots of rules and regulations that you need to be aware of. So there's quite strict fishing regulations in terms of the size and number of fish and shellfish that you're allowed to catch. So you need to be aware of those. There are some clean hull regulations when you're moving around the country as well, not just when you arrive. You do need to wear your life jackets in your dinghy. And there are definitely restrictions as to places you can't anchor at the moment because of the Calliope seaweed. So if you want to head further south, You've obviously got up here, Northland area, which I mentioned before, which is where most people come and arrive and stop and stay and don't go any further. But for those who are a bit more adventurous, around the Nelson, Marlborough, Abel Tasman area up here, the Fiordland National Park down here, which is absolutely stunning. Stewart Island down the bottom, extremely remote and amazing places down here and up the Otago Peninsula, Banks Peninsula and Christchurch. Come visit me at home, and back up into Wellington. There's also Napier, it's another port you can stop in at, Gisborne and Tauranga, and which is where all our other places we've talked about before. So Northland, this is up here is the Bay of Islands, where many people arrive into, or into Whangarei, or into Auckland as well. You can clear in at Auckland too. So Bay of Islands, Whangarei, or Auckland, you can clear in at. So cruising in Northland and Auckland is beautiful places. We've partnered up with lots of yacht clubs who love to welcome all the rally participants as well. This is the Opua Cruising Club at the Bay of Islands, and they have a great restaurant and bar there, and you're welcome to visit and take part in some of their events. This is over at Russell in the Bay of Islands, so the marina is over here. This is a beautiful part of the world. It used to be the former capital of New Zealand, so a lot of history here. Beautiful place to go and visit, some incredible restaurants. But the Bay of Islands has got hundreds of different anchorages, very popular with Kiwis over summer as well on their summer sailing holidays. So many different places to go and explore and cruise around. There's resorts where you can stop in and have a meal as well, and lots of hikes and walks and things that you can do around these various islands. And we'll give you a book that tells you all the places that you can go here as well. If you enjoy your racing, you might like coming along to the Bay of Islands Sailing Week, which is in January. They have a cruising division as well, so I'll tell you a bit more about that. And they have a big party out at one of these resorts, which is lots of fun. There's great diving out at the Poor Knights Islands, which is a marine reserve, beautiful place to go and do some diving. And this is out at Great Barrier Island, Smokehouse Bay. It's another really popular place for cruisers. But there are some incredible places to go and visit in New Zealand. If you're into bird watching, you can go to Tiri Mātangi, which is one of the bird reserves, and they've put all sorts of birds out here like kiwis and made sure that there's no rats or predators out there to disturb a lot of the ground-dwelling birds that we have in New Zealand. So you can go and spot some of those whilst you're out there. And there's further south is Waiheke Island. This is Manawar Bay, which is a great anchorage. We had New Year's Eve here actually. Beautiful anchorage and stunning winery that you can come and go and visit. So you will enjoy all the food and wine in New Zealand, I'm sure. And this is also at Waiheke, beautiful place to anchor, very popular for Aucklanders who can just go out to Waiheke for the weekend and spend some time out there. So Auckland, the capital city, lots of flights in and out of here to get you back home if you want to fly home for Christmas. It's also home to a lot of marinas, so there's plenty of places to leave your boat, and fantastic marine trades here as well. And the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, that's the home of the America's Cup that I showed you before. Devonport Yacht Club's just across the way, another welcoming yacht club for visiting sailors. And if you're on the rally, then you can go and have a drink in some of these clubs and rub shoulders with some of the local yachties. The South Island Rally is an optional extra you can add on to if you want to go all the way around the bottom of the South Island. You can go in either direction. You can go in any time. Again, it's another flexible option. This is the top of the South Island, Cape Reinga, where the Tasman Sea and the Pacific Ocean meet. It's quite a spiritual place for the Maori people as well. And if you don't go there or by sailing around, it's worth a drive up here to have a look at this beautiful part of the world. Great fishing and sailing down the west coast, and it'll take you a couple of days to get down to the Abel Tasman, which is a spectacular part of New Zealand. Again, very popular with Kiwis holidaying over the summer holidays. Quite a beautiful places to go and visit up there, including Te Waikato Pupu Springs, which is some of the clearest water. This is a freshwater spring, clearest water in the world. Lots of sea kayaking and estuaries here that you can kind of get in and out of. It's a gorgeous place to go and visit. This is Awaroa Bay. and Kaiteriteri Beach, some of the famous beaches. And the main city near here is Nelson, the port of Nelson, and that's also close to the Marlborough Sounds, where there's millions of different bays. In fact, a large percentage of New Zealand's coastline is in this Marlborough Sounds area, a maze of bays and inlets to go and explore, which is a popular place for us in Christchurch to sail up to and cruise around here. And it was also a big fair place of Captain Cook loved this. So you might have, if you read any of Cook's books, you've probably heard of him talking about Ship Cove, and I think he came in here 5 times on his adventures around the South Pacific. There's lots of resorts that you can visit. This is Panga Lodge, Panga Cove Resort, where they make a great pizza down on their deck, and they've got moorings and things out the front. And again, there's all sorts of bird reserves. This is one of the islands out in the Queen Charlotte Sound that you can go and anchor or pick up one of the club moorings and raft up with the locals. So lots of Kiwis cruising around here over summertime. It's absolutely stunning place. Lots of wildlife and seals and things to explore there as well. And the Waikawa Marina is, as I said, they've come on board as a sponsor. This is where the ferry comes into as well between the 2 islands. The main Cook Strait ferry comes in here. Then down to, from Abel Tasman down to Milford Sound, about 400 miles to get down to here, a 3 or 4 day passage. Is about 14 fjords in Fiordland National Park. Very, very sparsely populated. You've probably seen all the Milford Sound pictures, but the rest of the place you'll pretty much have entirely to yourself, apart from the fishing boats and other cruises on the South Island Rally. It's absolutely spectacular place. Very remote. You need to be very well prepared to come down here, and quite self-sufficient, obviously. Yeah, lots of great seafood, lots of fishing and crayfishing and diving and things like that down there too. Stunning, stunning place. And then from here, you can head across to Stewart Island. It's about 100 nautical miles. And again, Stewart Island is a really sparsely populated place. The only little town is in Oban. I think they've only got like 15 kilometers of roads just in this area, and the rest of the island is completely uninhabited. So if you're down in these places, the only way that you can get down there is in your own boat. It's a really special part of the world. There's only about 500 people live down here on a permanent basis. A lot of fishermen and real sort of salt of the earth type people. Very welcoming to the yachties that make the effort to go down there. And some interesting history with the whaling history and things like that. You'll find some of the old whaling stations and some of the relics there that you can go and explore. Beautiful crystal clear beaches, some amazing hikes and walks and things that you can do down there as well. It's just a stunning part of the world. If you want to come and explore down here, it's well worth the effort. I can highly, highly recommend it. And then sailing up north through Otago, Oamaru, Timaru, Akaroa, you can sort of almost day hop up here or make the whole jump up. So it's Otago Harbour, city of Dunedin, and a popular university town, also home to the Royal Albatross colony that they've got there. So you can go and visit these beautiful birds nesting out there. And then up to Akaroa Harbour and Lyttelton Harbour. And this is where my home is, over here. They can go and swim the dolphins, the little Hector's dolphins. They're the smallest dolphins in the world. Super cute little dolphins. And go and visit some of the quirky places there. So Akaroa's got a interesting French history. And if you decide not to sail, you can obviously drive over to Akaroa. So it's one of the places you can get to by driving. Very popular place. Lots of penguins and other wildlife and things around. And then into Lyttelton Harbour, gateway to Christchurch. If I'm around, you can come and visit me. And Christchurch is a great city. It's obviously being rebuilt after the earthquakes that we had a few years back. And then further up the coast to Kaikoura, and back up to the Marlborough Sounds and Wellington. And then after you've sailed around the South Island or driven around or had all your boat jobs done, in May time, it's time to join us on the Pacific Rally 2026 and head back up to the islands in May again. And we depart from either Marsden Cove or Opua, or at your leisure as well. You can go anytime you like. So you'll find all the details of our rallies on our website. under Pacific Rally or under the Joiner Rally tab. And you can find the recording of this webinar. I'll put under the Sail South to New Zealand webinar, page link. So in summary, why would you come to New Zealand? We've got great marine facilities. You can get GST free work on your international vessels. We're friendly people, fabulous food and wine, fantastic scenery and places to explore, easy access to get back to the Pacific the next season. So you have two choices. You can either sail on your own, spend lots of time researching everything you need to know, potentially missing the best bits, possibly accidentally upsetting the locals and missing out on the events, news, great deals and discounts. Or you can join us on the Sail South to New Zealand rally where you'll save time, money and stay informed with everything that's going on. So as I mentioned, we provide all the formalities and documentation, weather routing on passage to New Zealand. We can help you with crew, get you access to some discounts or deals, or just even some amazing special service from our sponsors. We'll provide you with support and assistance and answer all your questions along the way en route and whilst you're in New Zealand. We'll give you a discount for joining us in 2026 on the Pacific Rally as well, and it's just 650 New Zealand dollars per vessel. So the registrations are now open. It's a digital package. If you'd like to join the Pacific Rally, which includes the guidebook and rally pack, which is a flag and all sorts of other goodies, the cost is a bit higher just to cover the freight and printing costs of that. That's $897.50, and you can find all the details on our website. We also run the Down Under Rally to Australia, so I'll be talking about that tomorrow night and also covering off what you can see along the way in Vanuatu and New Caledonia and give you some tips on all the things that you can see when you're cruising in Australia. So any questions? I'll just stop sharing my screen and have a look in the chat box and take a sip of my drink. Right, so let's see what we've got in our questions. Just a lot of thumbs up at the moment. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to come on board? So William, go ahead.
Hi, this is Emily, who is William's wife, but I'm chatting on his behalf right now. I think my question, we have been doing a lot of research to clear New Zealand. We also have a dog, which is a whole nother ball game, which we're on top of. But specifically regarding the biosecurity, biofouling requirements, my read of the regulations was that we either needed to have like a inspector scrub the hull and give a certificate before we left our previous country, or we need to haul out. Is that still the case, or is there something we're missing there?
So no, you don't need a certificate or or need to have something to say that you've pulled out. You do need to ensure that you have got a clean hull though. So we also recommend people sort of take some photographs, some dated photographs on your GoPro or something like that, just to sort of prove what your hull is like. But if you arrive in New Zealand and they deem that your hull is dirty, they'll just require you to haul out pretty much straight away. So you don't necessarily need to do it whilst you're in the islands, but you do need to provide evidence of when you did last haul out and when you what your cleaning schedule is on your boat. And that's part of what we provide in that template that I showed you. So it's sort of got all the gaps that you can fill out and just basically have a nice document prepared with exactly all of the questions that they'll ask you completely filled out. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
Good. You're welcome. Anyone else? Crew opportunities link, please. Are you wanting to crew or you wanting to get crew? We have a crew seeker list. So basically you can either access the list if you're a skipper and see all of the crew members on there, or if you're a crew member, you can have your profile listed on there and the skippers can see you. Or we can also send out like a crew wanted thing for the skippers, and all the people on our crew seeker list get all those notifications automatically. So if there's someone wanting crew, you get to see those opportunities come through if you're on our crew seeker list. And it's on our website. If you look under membership and crew seeker, you can find the details under there. Jane.
Hello, my name's Arnie and Jane. We're here together. The question is, when does the participation registration start? and go to? Is it a year service or per rally service?
So it's a per rally service. If you join this the Sail South Rally, you get a membership of Island Cruising, which basically gets you access to our website. The Sail South Rally basically starts now. So if you join now, you start to get all our sort of regular updates for all the people that are in the Pacific at the moment, and all of the information that you need to prepare before you arrive into New Zealand. So your biosecurity plan, your visas, information about the weather and all that kind of stuff, which is sort of fed out to you over the next couple of months. And then when you arrive in New Zealand, the rally basically stops and you go off and do your own thing, but you've still got contact with me if you've got any questions along the way. And then next year you can join the Pacific Rally or our Go West Rally to go back up to the islands and head across to Australia if that's what you want to do. So that's like next year is a separate thing.
The only clarification was at the beginning you said, and this is not a question about money, it was just about clarification, that was 650 or in that range at the start. And your last slide said something about 895. Could you explain the difference between them?
Yes, certainly. So the Sail South package is a digital package. So you don't get the whole rally pack, and I haven't actually got it in front of me. So the Pacific Rally is the rally that the people who have left New Zealand and gone up to the islands will come back down to the New Zealand again. So like a 6-month package. So that includes a flag and a guidebook and basically a whole rally pack. So the 89750 is for the Pacific Rally that includes that pack, and that includes the cost of couriering that up to you basically. So it's sort of an extra, I don't know, $250 on top of your South Island, Sail South package, if you know what I mean. So it's just the extra cost of sending that pack away to you to send it up there for $250 extra.
Okay, so for us who are in the Tuamotus now heading west and south, we are only looking at the first package for 650. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's easier that way because it's so hard sending stuff to you guys. You know, like I often end up with packs getting lost in the mail or arriving late after you've left. And so the Sail South package is just easier being a digital package, but some people prefer to have the tangible book and the flags and all that kind of stuff. But it's just very hard to kind of get it to you in a timely manner without customs holding it up and it taking ages and then delaying you from getting away, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Thank you for being clear.
Thank you. No worries. Any other questions? Have I got any more in my chat box? What are the limitations on bringing shells in from French Polynesia into Tonga in New Zealand? So Tonga, you're probably fine. They probably won't check it. But in New Zealand, coral and certain shells are not permitted. And we'll give you a list of all of the things that are not permitted to come into New Zealand. But definitely no coral. Definitely those beautiful shells, like some the ones that are protected shells that are, I guess, becoming more like what I'm trying to word, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Becoming endangered is the word I'm looking for. They won't let you bring any of those into New Zealand, so they'll take them off of you. Yeah. Is there a full list of the discounts for rally participants available? Sort of, yes. So on our website, if you look under partners, there's a list of all of our current partners on there. And if you click on each one, it tells you all of the different offers. And we're currently negotiating with all of our sponsors to sort of put together things for the incoming boats. They've all been basically bombarded with everyone leaving the country at the moment. So we've just been trying to give them a bit of downtime before we start getting the offers through for everyone coming in. But there's some amazing deals that they do for people. As I say, you can quickly recoup your rally entry fee by taking advantage of some of the discounts. And we keep you up to date with all the offers as they come through. So it's constantly evolving thing. And sometimes people have a special offer that they'll put out for rally participants for a particular thing that they've got or a particular gap that they've got to fill, or so sometimes they can be short-term things or longer-term offers and that sort of stuff. That's constantly changing, but there's lots of great deals there. They're fantastic people. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to give me an email. I'll send you a link to everyone that's been on here tonight as well, with a link to the registration form and to the recording of this webinar. And if you've got any questions anytime, please feel free to just reply to my email or give me a call or whatever works for you. I'm always happy to help. Thanks very much for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all in New Zealand. Thanks again. Cheers. Bye.